USA. Get our 2025 six-piece MyTowel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first-ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece MyTowel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first-ever mega sale.
All right, live from Studio 8H tonight. How we doing, gentlemen? Here we are. Welcome to the show, Studio 6B. Big D is on the way, running a little bit late. Had some basketball game tonight, as usual, and he'll be on the way. Should be here shortly, so we hope to have him here hopefully by 8:30 or so. Welcome, gentlemen. Mr. Nolan is with us tonight. Paul, how we doing?
I'm going by
Saul
Mullins.
All right, Saul Mullins. Yes, I was supposed to.
And I'm calling you Slick Nick.
Slick Nick. Sounds good. How we doing, Paul?
I'm good. I'm excited to hang with KGB over here.
Yeah, KGB is here tonight as well. How you doing there, KDJ?
Good, gentlemen. Thank you. Great to be here. I wanted to go by Kevin Brokaw, but I kind of like KGB better, so we're going to go with that. It's a pleasure. It's a wonderful pleasure to be here.
So we got an inside joke that I'm sure people will figure out on Damon's socials as well. And, well, great to be here tonight with you, gentlemen. Big night. I mean, obviously, President Trump will be coming up tonight, right, to address the joint Congress. It's going to be unbelievable. We're looking forward to that. We'll be chatting as well, get your thoughts on what we think is going to happen tonight, what we expect to hear. I certainly have my menu of items, some of them on the sports side, but I know there's still a lot more far important things than that going on in the country. Paul, what would you like to, or what are you expecting to see tonight?
I think the first and foremost, we're going to hear him address DOGE and what a great job it's done ripping apart the bureaucracy. For me, I think it's the most popular thing he's done so far. It's the one that really does break the lines of even the lunatic liberals. Somehow or another, the craziest of the crazies still don't like the idea of government efficiency, but who knows why. But I think that will be at the forefront. And then obviously the Zelensky, the mineral deal, and the way he has just pressed the envelope. And he already has Zelensky caving in. And it's a crazy world when the left can't stand the idea of peace. Figure that one out.
You know, no matter what Trump does, we always say, right, Trump derangement syndrome, it doesn't matter. They're going to hate whatever he does, unfortunately. But they got to realize he's negotiating a deal with Zelensky. There's no question about it. That's how you negotiate with somebody like that doesn't understand.
Without a doubt.
I love it, and we're on the same page, of course. And, well, our resident comedian, the great Kevin Downey Jr. with us tonight. Great to have you, Kevin. Thanks for being here with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
Thoughts on tonight? What are you expecting?
You know what? I was reading CBS Baltimore today, and they were talking about how everyone's angry at Elon Musk for his disruptive policies regarding DOGE. I thought, this is why the mental belly flops are still fighting. because their local news show or their favorite news show says Elon bad, Elon Nazi, and they got to go like Elon Nazi, Elon Nazi. And that's why they don't like Doge, because someone's still telling them. And they just, again, they have to say, I will stand against Trump. Trump could come to their house when it's on fire with a big Trump fire truck and a bunch of firefighters in MAGA hats and said, "We're going to put your house on. Get away from me, you fascists!" And they'll just let it burn. They hate him that much. What am I expecting tonight? I'm expecting a bunch of idiots. You watch. There's going to be some of those congressional gangster broads who are wearing the same stupid outfit because it stands for anti-fascism or something like that. AOC and Jasmine.
Well, she's going to bail out tonight, but I think she's working on a dance number and a song because that seems to be the liberals' big weapon against the Team MAGA. Is they'll do a dance number and they'll sing a song completely out of tune, of course, and everyone will crumble to their feet because it's so intimidating.
Yeah, I think there'll be some talk about tariffs tonight. Yeah, that's big news right now, right? Especially all the pushback he's getting from Canada and from Mexico and all the insanity. Again, if people could just realize this is how you negotiate deals. We know we're in business. We negotiate. This is the master negotiator, right? There was a book written a couple of years ago, Art of the Deal, something like that.
Something like that. We sold quite a few copies from my understanding.
Just a few, So this is a deal, right? The Apprentice, this is how you negotiate with people. That's what I'm excited to see. Also on the sports side, I certainly want to talk about transgender in sports. I want to see how he addresses that, especially the pushback he got from that governor in Maine. We saw the way she treated him a couple of last week, right? That was we ran a couple of clips. Her name escapes me, but the governor from Maine, he basically straightened her out. But the point being is that I want to see how this is going to follow through, how he's going to start enforcing this. If he has to cut off aid to these educational aid to these schools, so be it. That's what it's got to be. This is a law, federal law, and I want to see it get enforced. I'm positive he's going to touch on it. I'm not even going to say I'd be disappointed when he'll hit everything like he always does. He'll hit all the points, no question.
Yep. You know what? A couple nights, maybe last night even, every Democrat in the Senate said, "Nah, we're cool with dudes pounding girls into Concussionville. We're fine with that. We're not going to play along. We're cool with that." So keep that going. I think he's going to mention that. I think he's also going to mention there's already cracks in the wall coming from Princess Trudeau. All right.
Oh, yeah.
He's already cracking. He came out swinging. Well, you do that. This is a message to the American people. Like any of us listen to you. We don't. We don't.
No one in this country listens to him.
We didn't listen to your dad when he was in Castroville down in Cuba. We didn't listen to him. But I think there's cracks in that wall, and I think Trump's going to mention that Trudeau's already coming around. He might lower some of the tariffs because they have insane tariffs on our products.
Without
they do.
doubt.
Absolutely.
That's the point I wanted to go to, because every country tariffs the daylights out of what we do. So we'll pummel you with tariffs. We'll watch the tariffs come down. There'll be a negotiation, and we'll see. The tariffs to start is a good thing. Now, overall, if it's a long-term, overarching, never-ending thing, as a guy who calls himself an ex-libertarian, because the Libertarian Party is a complete disaster now. MAGA really has taken over the Ron Paul type of libertarian that I was. Tariffs are another tax. It's no good, but in the short term, it's fantastic. In the long term, it doesn't have a negative effect if it reduces everybody's income tax to the point of next to nothing. If there was no federal income tax or nil or borderline none, the offset would work itself out.
It's time for things to change. You know what? Tariffs are terrific. So we're going to be bringing in Vin Buter on, our very own Vin Buter from down in sunny Florida. Vin, how we doing? Welcome to the show.
I'm looking at you guys. It reminds me of a movie, The Three Amigos. It's very impressive you got going on out there. I'm at an undisclosed location. I'm guarding Nancy Pelosi's paper shredder just in case she breaks that out during the speech here. I'm doing great though. It's great to see you guys. I'm excited for tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not excited though to see the childish shenanigans that I've been hearing about all day by the left. I mean, it just has been turning my stomach all day. So I'm anticipating some fireworks, but I just wish they would just behave like adults. Let the guy make a great speech and let's move on,
Exactly. Oh, should be a great night tonight, Vin. We were just chatting about that as well. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say Rick Delgado is at a Knicks game in the Garden tonight. So he's going to give me a sports report a little bit later. But Rick is at the Golden State Madison Square Garden game versus the New York Knicks. So he will not be on the show tonight. But good stuff. We are waiting on Big D. He should be here as well. Big night. We're going to take the show, obviously. We may get we may end up talking to somebody from the network as well, right? We might hear from some of the RAV folks there. Steve Bannon, I believe, is running the show. So we may also see him as well. I think Vin will be working with us throughout the night, or at least for the first hour, right, Vin? Beautiful.
I'll be here until until it goes completely dark, like when Trump is done. I'll be here for the duration.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. Super.
Got a giant thermos of coffee, and it's all good. Yeah.
You can see we do a lot of pre-planning when we set up the show. We're usually working on the seat of our pants here. But doing a great job. And, again, welcome to Studio 8H. We've got a new name, I understand. It's gone viral today. So
I knew Bannon was a huge fan.
Huge fan, Steve. Yeah, well, we love Steve. Obviously, we love the network as well. And good stuff. So
since we're colleagues and all.
So I don't know if we have any stories we want to run today. We have a little time before the president comes on. We could chat obviously about what again we were talking about some of the things we expect to see this evening. Vin, anything else you're looking for tonight while you're down there in Florida?
Yeah, I think that being here in Florida, by the way, is great because I feel like I'm, surrounded by fellow comrades. It's just such a great feeling because I'm usually either in Los Angeles or New York, and it's a mixed bag. But I just am very interested to see if we've made some progress with the Ukraine thing. I heard you guys mention it earlier.
Yeah.
That Zelensky's done a whole 180 here and everything. When I was watching this on social media when it all happened, and everyone's hair was on fire. This thing, they were going crazy. Oh, Trump with Putin, all this stuff. The only message I put out was, hey, give this a week or two. It's going to completely flip. He will come back. The Europeans will step up. And everything's going to be good. We might actually have a ceasefire.
Imagine
my prediction was 2 weeks, not 4 days, not even 3 days.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Part of me believes that the Dems just don't want to see Trump come in and literally end a war that's been dragging on ad nauseum, right? I mean, listen, I don't want to dismiss a lot of lives were lost. A lot of people fought. They probably fought with pride. Well, I know they fought with pride for their country, where they're from. I get it. I don't mean to be dismissive, but the point being is the president comes in, he's in office 1 month, and people are going to say, well, it took him so long. I mean, amazing, right? I mean, because, he's used to running the country under full peace, right? There was no war the last 4 years. He was.
I mean, a million Ukrainians dead or maimed and injured is enough.
Oh,
and
gosh.
to me, what's staggering to me is all the money spent and all the money that was funneled and filtered and laundered. And it's, to me, you guys were touching before on how the corruption and Doge. These people also don't like the fact that all their scams are going to get exposed. Yep. All of their communist propagandized money to their mouthpieces on the left, to their programs that go into these ridiculous DEI/gender, but they're also only a fraction go to it, and the majority comes back to the DNC, and they have one rig job after another, and they know their gravy train is ending.
Yep.
And without that gravy train, there is nothing, because the truth is there's no one on the ground who really cares about this except for a dozen housewives on Long Island who have completely lost their mind in their Range Rovers.
Right, exactly. And then we hear Tim Walz wants to run for possibly run in 2028, and then we say that's the only hope they have. We're looking at about 12 years between Trump and J.D. Vance. I'll take that. That'll be a great 12 years. I'll ride my life out off into the sunset as I retire.
Yeah. A tampon machine in every men's room.
Exactly.
Vote for me.
Yeah. Tampon Tim. Gotta love it.
Tampon
Great stuff. Oh, man, amazing. So, anything real quick? We got any quick, Kevin, what's steaming your clams lately? I'll come to you first.
This steams my clams. Check this out.
I love that.
Thank you.
I want to grind my gears, but Peter Griffin beat me to it.
It boils my potatoes, too, if you want to go there.
That's it. Sizzles my sushi.
There you go. Jen Psaki, or Psaki, however you pronounce it. She, her sister worked for about 10 years at this. This is coming from Town Hall. All right. I work for the same company at PJ Media. I trust them. Her sister was working for a radical non-governmental organization, that's NGO, that raked in millions of dollars from USAID. They were called the Population Council.
Oh, boy.
Now, they say they're pro-abortion. Actually, they're pro-depopulation. That's the problem here. When you read down, you see who some of the people involved are. Well, there's eugenicists. Is that how you pronounce those people? And population control people. Remember, folks, we're just a bunch of useless eaters to some of these knuckleheads. But look at this. They're looking at ways. Initial grant supported studies on differential fertility among social classes and how we can stop it. Finance sterilization experiments on women with bad hereditary history. Oh, look at that. Early donors included the Soros-funded Ford Foundation. But U.S. government agencies like USAID and the Centers for Disease Control, they came in, they said, and the NIH said, you know what? We're going to give you guys even more money. even more money. So this is a group, remember, they're pretending that we're pro-choice. No, you're pro-slaughter. Yeah. That's what this group was. And Jen Psaki's sister making mad stacks over there. And everyone thought, remember, tyranny comes disguised as virtue. It's not about women's rights. It's about depopulation, which some people say, oh, shut up, you tinfoil hat wackadoo, but it's real.
Yeah, no, there's been that's been on the agenda for hundreds of years. The elite have always wanted less of us breathers.
No question about it.
I was thinking about this the other day, and all the stuff that Doge is doing and exposing the things that you were just talking about. The corruption, all that. And I'm wondering, okay, so politicians are all making millions. They go in with nothing, they come out with millions, and it's becoming very obvious that they do two things. One, they start a nonprofit, and two, they start a green company. And those two things are where all the money gets funneled around. And if you see what Musk is uncovering, which, hey, thank God for Elon Musk, right? I love this guy, love him. And the fact that he's uncovering these things, what was bothering me was, are they doing criminal things? Because at some point that's got to get found out. But it seems to me that they're doing it legally through these back channels, and that's what we're finding. And I can't wait till we see who's doing that. I don't know if we can actually prosecute these people, but it's good to know that's how they're doing it so we can stop it.
No question.
Yeah, well, we just talked about Senator Whitehouse and his wife Sandra and their Oceans whatever scam, and she made over $2.5 million out of it in the last year, and $8 million went since 24, and she pocketed a whole bunch of that money. So, it's a never-ending circle of scams, and it's everybody's connected to everybody. I don't know if you saw General Flynn today, but I wanted to talk about it maybe later. Yeah. He was on with Dr. Gina, and he had basically called out Victoria Nuland and her neocon family scam that they've had running through the incredible money laundering system in Ukraine. And he said, we're coming after her. She's nailed dead to rights, and then said she was involved in the assassination on Trump. So that's going to be a firestorm in the news tomorrow and the next day. And that woman has been a criminal her entire life. She has ties all the way back to Zbigniew Brzezinski and the entire neocon PNAC war machine. She is an absolute demon to this country, and I hope she gets her comeuppance more than anyone in this whole mess.
Absolutely, Paul. Yeah, and if you're just tuning in now, you might be unfamiliar with the set that we have here. This is a special night. Obviously, we're going to be watching President Trump. It's our watch party set here. We're wall-to-wall watch carpet here and the brick walls. And we got Paul Nolan with us tonight, who's normally on the show as well. And we got KDJ, Kevin Downey, who usually makes it on Pizza Friday nights, but he joined us tonight, fills in. Myself, Rick Amorati, Slick Rick. And we have Vin Buda joining us from down Florida at his satellite studio down there. Vin, good to see you. Damon,
yeah, I'm in my bunker.
He's in his bunker. He's all,
looks like a hostage video.
He's all hunkered down, ready to go. That's it.
Vin, if you're in trouble, blink SOS.
He's probably got a picture of fresh squeezed orange juice over there with a little vodka on the side. I could go for that. Yeah. And Big D is on his way. He's coming back from a basketball game. And Rick Delgado, as I said earlier, he's at the Garden tonight with the Knicks, and obviously Golden State coming in. He's looking forward to that. So we got to give Rick a night off. So this is us. So a little different setup tonight, a little different crew, but we're here just the same. President Trump, I believe, is scheduled to come on in about 45 minutes. I think 9 p.m. He's scheduled to shoot. So that should be really fantastic. And I know we're all looking forward to that. Paul, do you want to get to a quick story? I didn't realize General Flynn was on earlier today.
Well, no, that, I mean, we figured we'd come that. That was on Dr. Gina, and she really, I mean, he just came out and said everything that was on his mind. But this...
Well, I'm interested to hear about this, yeah.
Yeah, he called out... I was shocked to hear him say it, right? When you hear these things, it usually comes with a little more tact, but he flat out just accused her of being involved. And Elon Musk tweeted back on that, he's not lying. So there is definitely some evidence. So where there's smoke, there's fire. And I know that these people are above the law. We know there's really 3 tiers of justice, and that oligarchs, they never get touched. They're all untouchables. So for me to hear this and to see Elon double down on it, very interesting to me. It doesn't feel like my tinfoil hat. It feels like a much better, it feels like a lot more source of legitimate news to me.
Yep.
And you know what? Yesterday, I was shocked too. But yesterday, came out, General Flynn came out and said, Comey is also involved.
Oh, yes.
I was shocked like you. I went, Oh, he's not even.
He told Comey on that thing in person. He goes, "You're going to jail, buddy."
Yes,
Woo.
yes, he did.
Yeah, so
that's strong.
Who was that interview with?
Oh, I wish I could remember.
I wish I could
it was
too,
a podcast.
but it was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. And the weird thing about it is Comey's daughter is running the investigation in the Southern District. She ran the one on Ghislaine Maxwell, which is so unbelievably criminal. And then she's overseeing the information coming out when her father is as criminal as it gets. That tells you how nepotistic and how demented the entire system is.
Yep.
And anybody who speaks out about, what's that, a knock at the door? Are we all going to duck? We're next.
Yeah,
Is that a drone?
Wow. Yeah, remember those drones rolling around? We never really got a full explanation on that either. That's another story. I wonder if that'll come up tonight. I doubt it, but they're pretty cool. Yeah, no, this is great. I'm really looking forward to seeing the president kicking back, and I wonder how long he'll go tonight. We have any idea? We think it's going to be an hour, 45 minutes.
I'm going to call you KJB just because we all have wrong names. What do you think, KJD? Do you believe he'll do full 2 hours, or you think he'll keep it shorter than that?
You know what? I think he has a lot to say. He's not going to take questions, though. It's not going to be one of those things. I bet he does an hour 15-ish. That's usually what he does at a rally, right?
Yeah. Maybe an hour and a half if he's rolling.
Hour and a half. That's what I say.
I think hour and a half. I think he's going to
go,
be.
between hour 15, hour and a half.
I'm in that pocket, too, between 1:15 and an hour. Vin, you're the smart guy here. What do you think?
I would love it if he took questions tonight. I mean, how great would that be? I would love that. I'm with Kevin on this one, man. I think it's going to be about an hour 15, hour and a half. He's got a lot to say, though, to Kevin's point. I mean, there's just a lot to unpack here in, 40 days? And doesn't the last 40 days feel like 6 months? I mean, in just like Trump time, it's like dog years in a sense. He's done so much, and there's just so much compacted into it. So I don't know if he can get through it all in an hour and 15 minutes or not. And the disruptions, that's also going to be a big part here because it's going to delay it.
Yeah, well, there should be a lot of goofy props, right? When I hear a bunch of, what's the name, Pocahontas is going to bring some fired employees, and I believe a bunch of people are going to be bringing empty egg cartons. Like, that's going to disrupt the show. I mean, meanwhile, the henocide, right? The bird flu henocide, they've slaughtered how many hens across the nation? How many food plants in the last year were burnt to the ground?
Yeah, right. Mysterious fires. Yeah,
who knows?
I think it'll be bad. I think an hour and a half he'll get through with the interruptions and what have you. I hope it isn't an embarrassing theater, though. I really hope they don't try. It's bad enough what we had to go through with Zelensky. The way he disrespected the office
and disrupted the whole thing.
Disrupted the whole thing, and then the governor calling him out like that when he was. Remember last week I talked about the governor from Maine about pushing back. I mean, the level of disrespect from the left is just really out of control, and I sure hope that doesn't tarnish tonight at all. And I don't think it will, because the president won't stand for it. Kev?
You know what? I love how these idiots are like, the price of eggs. Well, your president had gain of function on the bird flu thing and got a lot of them sick. And someone called into my radio show and said, how come the price of chicken hasn't gone up, but eggs have? I thought, that's actually genius. And someone in the know informed me, said there are two types of chickens, really. You got your broilers, that's the ones we eat. And then you got your hens, that's the one that lay eggs. Somehow, the hens are getting the bird flu. I don't know how that's possible.
Right.
Maybe gain of function had something to do with it. But I'm telling you, as sure as the sun will rise, they're coming after our food sources. That's what they're doing, especially protein. Eggs are cheap protein. They want us sick and they want us weak. I hope Trump says something about that. But this egg situation started under Biden, and they're blaming Trump now because they're idiots. They can't really think for themselves. They're easily controlled morons who have lost touch with their own minds. So they'll just repeat what they've been told. But Trump will probably, you know what? 3-4 months from now, that's going to be over. Inflation's going to be down. Everything's going to be great.
By the way, did you guys see that clip floating through social media today with every single leftist? I sent that clip in. Would you guys mind if we played a little piece of it?
Yeah.
We let that roll?
Roll it.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That's what you just heard. Day one of Donald Trump's presidency. Prices are up. Inflation is getting its beauty.
The next one I sent was quadruple. There's like 36 people that Well, that would be whatever. I'm not so good.
I think it's 23 senators. And the last one, first one I saw was 3. Then it was
Right,
6.
exactly.
It keeps going up.
It keeps going up. It was like, I told 2 friends, and I told 2 friends, and they told 2 friends.
Got a guy in the middle pontificating. Yeah.
Is that unbelievable? I mean, is this not Operation Mockingbird?
It's typical.
Yes.
This is just
exactly what I called it.
How anybody could possibly buy into this nonsense? This is state-run, Pravda-style propaganda media. I mean, how can anybody buy this nonsense?
And to your point, I think the country, well, I don't think, I know by the vote and the reaction, and Trump's approval rating right now is the best it's been since 2016. And you see this all happening because people have figured it out. Yep. They figured it out. They're starting to see the nonsense. And even the ones in the closet on the left that don't want to admit to us, oh, I'm coming over to the other side, they're like, let's see what happens. I'm going to back off a little because the common sense now is going to become something that's a commonplace for this country.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I heard someone say it on the air. Someone said, I think they called it that the mind virus of the mainstream media, people have been inoculated and they're done with it. It doesn't hit them anymore. They built up an immunity to the lies. I like that analogy.
Had this conversation
Stephen A. Smith went on The View, and he was being hassled because they were like, well, Trump didn't win by a landslide. He doesn't have a mandate, all this stuff. And Stephen A. Smith, who didn't vote for Trump and is not even a Trump supporter, set them all straight and said, yeah, he did win a mandate and all those things. You know what it comes down to with the left? Besides the fact that they have no original thought, they have no plan, they have no leadership, no integrity, they have no policies that have worked. So they're the big no party. But leadership is the key word. We have a leader here in Trump. He comes out, he tells us what's going on. We voted for him for all the things that he's doing. The left has no leadership. What they have is like these internal agents that create, the storytelling that they do. They've been doing it for years with memos to the press, right? Every time we hear them talk, everyone's using the same talking points, and so is the media, using the same words. This is what they're doing here, and it just proves to me they have zero leadership, zero original thought. They're just mindless minions. Who are an AI robot?
Yep. The other thing I love about the leadership is the transparency, right? We got Elon picking up rocks and bugs are coming out and worms and showing all this. The transparency is over the top here, and that's what we want in government. Don't we want that? It's always been, don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. The old Wizard of Oz, right? Wicked was the big movie this year. Well, this is how we've been running. The country's been running like this forever, for years. President Trump tried to peel it back in 2016, but of course everybody was undercutting him and cutting him at the knees. Yep. Now he says, you know what? I'm going to go outside of the swamp and start drafting some new talent to come in here and take a look at the thing, like Elon and like RFK. Can't wait till he gets into the drug and food industry. Oh, I'm licking my chops for that. Their time is coming. And I spent a lot of years in the drug industry, so I'll be a lot more vocal when we start talking about.
Was that when you were in Studio 54 dancing?
Yeah, no, Studio 8H. Okay, Kevin, you were going to say something?
No.
You made that motion.
I'm kidding.
I thought you had all right. Okay.
No, I agree with everything you're saying. This is a new and improved Trump. You're right. He had to go outside the circle. Look at Chris Christie even stabbed her in the back. Oh, put Christopher Wray in charge of the FBI. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
But you're right. He's got Kash Patel. He's got Tulsi Gabbard. He's got Elon. He's got his group. And these people are not backing down. Dan Bongino's going to the FBI. That's amazing.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, Christopher Wray. No, everything will be fine. No, it's like, what do we call it? Yeah, John Gotti's going to be running the investigation against the 5 families in New York. That's great. It's going to work out just fine for everyone.
Yeah, what else is fresh is that these people can't be bought. I know, Vin, you've alluded to it on the show, I think, earlier in the week, that these people, you know what? They don't have a price. Because you know what? Their price is for the best of this country.
Right, 100%. Yes, I'm sorry, Vin.
Yeah, no, they're independent thinkers.
Yes.
There are no independent thinkers on the left. Maybe Fetterman showed us, a glimpse of that, right? A small glimpse, because he voted against the boys in the girls' locker rooms. Like, he voted against that. I couldn't believe he did. I thought he was one of the guys that wouldn't. But they are just fooling everybody with their nonsense.
No question.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I think, didn't Fetterman backtrack a little bit on that in a tweet today? I think he said something to the effect of, these trans children don't have an ally. Well, they do have one now in me. I don't know what it meant. I didn't even bother to care. Like, that's the best part about Trump being in there. So much of the loonies in the left, I don't even care anymore. You have like so little power right now. I'm going to take a mental break from your stupidity.
And stop keeping the tail from wagging the dog. You know, I'm tired of this tail wagging. The small percentage shaping all of our thoughts in the media. How about us? We have a thought. We have our own mind, right? We're self-thinkers. I mean, what do we? You know, I got to listen to all this stuff, all this propaganda on TV. Or I should be accepting this? No.
Yeah.
Exactly right. They don't think you're smart enough to think for yourself.
Well, that's the problem. Exactly.
Central plans have to handle everything.
Everyone in Trump's cabinet, they don't need the job. I mean, that's what you were alluding to, Paul. Exactly. They don't need the job. They're either, wealthy enough where they don't need the job, or they just don't need the job. I mean, Dan Bongino doesn't need the job.
No way.
And we could go across everybody in the cabinet. What does that mean? Independents, free thinkers. Like, they think for themselves. So the left doesn't think for themselves. They think of what they're told to be thinking. That's basically the big difference here.
So then I'd like to ask you, I'd like all you guys to kind of answer this question. When you see a guy like Dan Bongino just about every day for how many years now, you know exactly who he is.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We know what kind of man that is.
Yep.
And I think everybody could say on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think his ability, what percentage is he true blue straight up? Is it 99.9%? Is it 97%? Is it 50? I see it as close to 100% as possible with him. Mm-hmm. I feel that way about Tulsi. And RFK has been a warrior through all of this.
Yep.
But not just that. Like, to me, and I don't want to like grandstand on these guys because they're all like dream team to me. But they all seem 100% above reproach, in my opinion, because we know exactly who they are. And I think one of the biggest challenges to the left is they can't dig up any dirt on them at this point, really, right now. And I think the biggest thing that frustrates me with the left at this point is they think that this is the least transparent, administration, and Doge hasn't been transparent. There's 10 hours of Rogan talking to Musk in the last 3 interviews. You know exactly who that guy is. So if you hate him and you're petrified by him, go watch the most recent one and start there and point out where on the doll where he hurts you. And I'd like to see any real lefty watch the whole thing, absorb it, maybe take some notes while you're at it, and then do a little research while you're going at it. But they won't do it because their entire ideology will crumble the fiber of their being, who they have become in that uniform. Their uniform, their blue uniform is who they are, and they just refuse to. They'd rather watch the country burn in World War III. You said it the other night.
Right, and look at Dan
watch Trump get a victory.
What has Dan Bongino seen, right? He used to work in the Secret Service. He's seen a lot. He knows a lot. And he's walking away from one of the most successful podcasts there are. I mean, making a lot more money than what they're going to be paid for the job he's going to do. But what did he say? I'm shutting the mic off. I'm walking away because this is a call for the country. The way he said it, I forgot the exact words, but it was so beautiful the way he put it. He apologized to his unbelievably loyal, faithful audience. He says, I have to do this. This is a call, almost like a call from above. Well, it is a call from above, so to speak. And I'm really impressed with that, with how Bongino. So he's watching
Paul,
the right place.
Paul, to your point, though, I remember when Obama first ran, and I think we all got to be at least honest about this. He was charming and charismatic. He was a captivating guy from how he spoke. This is when he first came out. And I remember seeing that and I'm like, you know what? I can't watch this guy. He's like too convincing. I want to read what he says. And that's what I did. I read his speeches, and anyone around me that loved him, I'd say, well, you know what? Read what he's saying, because he didn't say that. You heard that because this guy's just so good. And I look at everybody that's in the cabinet for Trump now. If we all just had the left shut their eyes and read these policies and what they're saying, they would be like, yeah, of course I agree with that. Or I agree with this with Musk and all that. But as soon as they see these names, especially the Trump name, it's like, danger. Bill Robinson. Yeah, they're getting completely bananas.
Yeah.
But if you read it, it's completely different.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Good stuff. And you want to shout out to all our great folks on the chats.
Good.
Obviously, we got the socials going tonight. YouTube chat, the X, the Rumble, the Getter. I don't know, Delgado's usually on the chats as well. He's not here tonight. Once Big D gets in here, I'll start replying to everybody as well. It's tough to host a show and keep an eye on the chat, but we're looking at the YouTube chat, and they're really liking the show. They love the audience tonight. Vin, they listen. Vin seems to like them as well, which is really good. So, thank you, Vin. And really good stuff here. They're out in Arizona. Everything's good in Arizona. Let's see. We got C.J. Moore. Yeah, C.J. Moore said Vince seems to like this group as well. And let's see. Moon Pie, time will tell. And we got some other good people in here as well. Let's see. Jesus Perez. Chris, you'll have to see. I believe I only see. I don't really understand that one. Keeping along. And I'll check the Getter chat as well next.
I'll tell you, that YouTube chat has a bunch of funny one-liners in it.
They do. No question about it.
That's the group. Like, look, some usually now, I can only do one at a time because I'm like a 9-year-old in a balloon factory. So, like, I can only watch one chat at a time.
Twisting those balloon animals, huh, Paul? Yeah. But the shout out to Moon Pie, Cat SP, Les Durham, Glittery Goodness.
Barbecue with these people.
Yeah, we definitely got to get together with some of these folks one of these days. One of these days we'll go on the road. Big D always says he's going to take us on the road. He'll probably.
We have a $25 rant on Rumble from Matt Talk saying, "Love you guys. Thanks for all you do."
Oh, thank you very much.
Wow,
that's
thank
so
you.
Cool.
Thank you, Fran. Very good stuff. So, yeah, we got another. So, chats are rock and rolling, and we'll see. President Trump should be up and about just a little bit past the 8:33, 8:34 right now. So, the president should be coming up. We should certainly get the line. Big D should be on the way as well. Our great host, the great Big D. And anything else, gentlemen, you want to get to before we get onto the president's speech tonight?
Well, we haven't asked Vin. And Vin, what's the news story of the day that's been kind of, on your minds right now?
Well, I'm going to go off from the big ones because the big ones have been covered, significantly. Obviously the speech and all the thing with Zelensky and all these sort of big stories. Because there's two smaller stories that really caught my attention, and I was thrilled to see them. One is we just took control of 2 ports on the Panama Canal.
Rock boy.
Yeah, the group out of Hong Kong sold us the rights to those 2 ports, which has been in negotiations for a while. The second thing is,
it's a big deal. That's a monstrous deal.
Yeah.
Vin, can I interject 1 second? Have you seen the infrastructure that Musk is doing with trying to create a Nicaraguan canal to compete with the Panama Canal?
I heard about that, which I think is brilliant because it's a perfect spot, and it's a great spot.
Yeah, well, that. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was just curious if you had been tuned into that at all.
He's so smart, isn't he? That guy. I mean.
A lot of people say I remind them of Elon.
I was going to mention that, except for the goatee.
Good job, Saul. Anyway.
Oh, man. But the other story that caught my eye was these cartels in Mexico. And we got problems with these cartels in Mexico, right? Well, they killed a U.S. citizen, a farmer. And Trump has turned that around and said, hey, aggressive response. We're going right after you guys.
You talk about the car bomb?
What we need.
The guy drove over an IUD?
Yeah. One of their IUDs, he got killed, and Trump's taking an aggressive response. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but it's huge. These cartels have been eating our lunch. They're flooding the country with illegals and criminals. They flooded the country with fentanyl and other drugs. They've taken over Mexico. Like, how are we going to get Mexico to cooperate if these cartels are in charge? Remember with Colombia? You remember that whole? Who was the guy in charge of Colombia? What's his name? The big drug dealer there.
Pablo
Escobar.
Yeah. They couldn't do anything when that guy was running shotgun. And the same thing with Mexico. These cartels are too strong.
Well, Trump turns around and says, in full partnership with them. But that's another story for another time. I hope. Kevin is just leaving this show. He's afraid the place is going to get bombed.
We are, by the way, completely non-suicidal here at Studio.
Yes, we are. We are.
Studio, whatever we are today. I don't really know.
We're all very happy now.
Studio CU.
But before we take our first break, I just want to bring it all back to the chat here. In the Get It chat, Bubby Sims says, 2 groups in the room tonight, commies and patriots. You will see. Very good point. Yep. We know that. And hopefully we don't see too much of the commie action. And I think we're going to throw the break now, Aaron. Take our first break there. We'll be back in a little bit live from Studio 8H right here on the network. We're in the socials tonight, pretty much. And Rav.
I like that jacket, Slick. You're looking good, buddy.
Thank you, Devin.
announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed, because right now, every order ships absolutely free. Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to announce my original My Slippers are back in stock. You've made them a huge success, and now I've added smaller sizes, larger sizes, wide sizes, and all new colors. And with your promo code, you still save $90 a pair. Not only that, I'm having the biggest closeout sale ever on our sandals and slides for as low as $19.98. What makes My Slippers different is my exclusive 4-layer design that you're not going to find in any other slippers. My Slippers' patented layers make them ultra comfortable, extremely durable, and they help reduce stress on your feet. Wear them anytime, anywhere. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen now. Use your promo code to save $90 on my original My Slippers, or for as low as $19.98, you can get our sandals or slides. Quantities won't last long, and with my 60-day money-back guarantee, you can rest assured they'll be the most comfortable footwear you'll ever own. Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back! The MyPillow guy!
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, MyPillow 2.0. When I invented MyPillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. MyPillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature-regulating thread. MyPillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of MyPillow.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a MyPillow or not, you need to get the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
Visit MyPillow.com.
All right, welcome back into Studio 6B. I'm with Paul Nolan, and I'm with KDJ, and Vin Buda joining us from down in sunny Florida. Whereabouts, Vin? Sarasota? Am I correct? Is that where we are?
Yeah, Sarasota, man, a beautiful place. The Gulf is just so nice. So nice. I love it. Yeah.
Golf in Florida. We know the president loves golf down there in Florida. Nothing like it for him. Good stuff.
The Gulf, not golf. Golf.
The Gulf?
Yeah, the Gulf.
Oh, okay. The American Gulf. I love it.
We're not going to kill all the gophers, are we?
Right.
Good stuff. And Big D is on his way, should be here shortly to join us for the watch party that's supposed to commence around 9, so we got about 18, 19 minutes. Thank you for joining in with us, having a little banter back and forth as we get ready. We're all in a relaxed state tonight on our casual set where we've watched the election. We've had good results and bad results on this forum before, right, guys? And hoping tonight we'll have great results. Here's a live shot now. There's the vice president coming in, J.D. Vance, getting ready. He'll be there with the president, obviously. Love to hear him speak as well. Can't wait.
That guy's hitting grand slams every time he talks.
Grand slam. Isn't he
100%.
the most beautiful speaker?
Oh, he's fantastic.
Right, Vin? Incredible. Just love when he speaks.
This guy is so impressive, man. I think Kevin has it so right. Everything he says is so articulate, so to the point, so sharp too. He cannot be had by those, the network flakes out there that try to catch him and stuff. He's just so good. Put him out all the time.
He does not get flustered at all.
No.
I mean, at all. Like when you watch Kamala when she was the vice president, right? She was like tripping over, but she couldn't even get her out of the barn, man. But when she had her interviews, but I got to tell you something.
Is that a shot at her horse mouth?
Yeah. Well, you take it for where it is. But
all right, sorry, 'cause I didn't
have
think
horse
you'd
mouths.
say that.
Well, they are donkeys, But bottom line is that this guy is just absolutely fantastic and genuine as well, as you can see here. So, man, we're excited. I'm really looking forward to tonight. This will really level set, I think, expectations for everyone as we get out of the first 40 days or so, heading into the end of the first quarter. Certainly, a lot of people are concerned about the economy, right? We're still sitting here at $35 trillion in debt and counting as we speak. So hopefully, we're going to start to see the tide turn with that, especially with all the Doge investigations and all the cuts. I don't know if they're going to be able to solve $35 trillion, but you know what? I'll take $1 trillion to start. That'll be a nice trim if we can get to that.
Yeah, that's quite a number, though, right?
$1 trillion's a big number. I know it's a heavy lift.
They would have to go after the war machine for that. They would have to really maybe stop and buying a toilet seat for $73,000.
Yeah, or the $84,000 ashtray. Yeah, right. Which nobody even smokes on a plane anymore.
I think Doge is up to 105 million saved. 105 billion saved.
Yeah, got a ways to go, unfortunately.
It's a long-term play, though, guys. It's not a short.
No.
The Doge thing is going to pay dividends for the next decade, every year saving this money. So to me, it is going to add up. It is going to add up.
Because right now, there wasn't the actual full savings. That's the projected savings over time, I believe. Did you guys see anything about Musk had stopped every federal credit card and people weren't allowed to use them until they submitted what they were using the credit card for? I thought I read that earlier today, but I didn't verify if it was true. Maybe the LFS 6, what are we, 8H?
8H, yeah.
8H. Maybe the 8H Army can do we have some internet sleuths in this group. That's outstanding. But
yes.
I could have sworn I saw that Musk is going to stop the credit card use of almost every federal employee, and they will have to submit what they're using it for, and they have to reapply for their account is what I think I saw something to that effect.
I saw that too. It's if it's not here already, it's coming. Because they're using it in like casinos and strip clubs.
Oh, yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I've got no problem with it myself. I'm just not spending your money to go.
Right. Travel and entertainment with the taxpayers' money.
You want to donate something, feel free.
Exactly.
We will be on a plane tonight.
Well, it sounds like they're going to get stripped of those rights. So that sounds good. And we just saw Speaker Mike Johnson as well greeting Vice President Vance as he came up. So we'll pretty exciting now. We got the group here. Can't wait to see. So we'll have live coverage coming up at 9:00. Looks like we might get started on time. By the way, everybody's kind of filing in now. So really looking forward to that. And sure, good crowd tonight. Look out. I'm really looking forward to this. One of the more exciting moments is when the president speaks and he has the whole nation's attention at his whim there, which is fantastic. So there we are, Vin. What do you think? You getting ready?
Oh, I am. I'm definitely ready. I was just going to say that I really love the press secretary too. As we're talking about each of the people in Trump's cabinet, the people around him that are messaging. She is sharp as a tack. She doesn't need to, circle back. She doesn't need to refer all these other notes. She knows the policies as well as anybody. I haven't seen a press secretary this sharp. Maybe there have been a couple.
Kayleigh McEnany was great.
Yes, Kayleigh McEnany was great. I liked her.
She was strong, but she's this one is just amazing, and a credit to the president for picking her. Such a young girl.
Fantastic.
My daughter did.
I couldn't agree more. A fantastic selection. And you're right, gone is the Psaki circling back and never having a right answer. And it is way right. Corinne Jean-Pierre, we had her as well. You never got a straight answer from her ever. Right?
Talk about a DEI hire with her, boy. She checked all the jackass boxes, didn't she?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What a clown.
My favorite lie of hers is, hey, those videos of Biden pooping his pants and shaking hands with ghosts? Those are made by conservatives. Those are cheap fakes. That's what we call them, cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes. That was an impressive lie.
How anyone can believe the Democrats after that. And I can give you 5,000 other lies that people fell for. But that was just the most blatant thing that...
No question about it. No question about it.
Thanks for bringing us down memory lane there, because that was a good one.
Yeah, good stuff.
What? My big hope for tonight is that finally Representative Anna Paulina Luna accepts my proposal for marriage. I've sent her 43 in the past 7 days. She hasn't gotten back to any yet. But tonight's the night. It's going to be on TV, and I'm very excited.
Well, we'll have to fly. We're going to run you right over there. We'll fly you right into D.C. We'll get you right over there, Kev. No question about it. You probably could do a stand-up show and make a few bucks on the side to pay for the ring while you're there. So good stuff. Really good stuff. Yeah.
You better be careful because I made a comment about how fond I was of Pam Bondi, and that's not aging so well right now. She's not exactly on the top of my list anymore.
Well, we don't have Big D here to keep us in line, so we're getting off the rails here a little bit, right? But that's all right. We're having a lot of fun. But again, casual night tonight. Again, if you're just tuning in now, some folks come in at the 9 o'clock hour to watch the show as well. Catch the last hour normally on 2 hours a night, 8 to 10, Monday through Friday, live from studio. What is it, Paul?
4C, I don't
something like that. Yeah, Studios 6B, and different set tonight for us. I would call this our watch party set. We assemble here for the election night, as well as when we have any of these special events that the president is speaking. I know we did a few rallies from here as well. Boy, I missed the rallies. I really have to say, I really enjoyed the rallies. I mean, of course, we could verbatim recite a lot what the president said, of course. But bottom line is, I do miss them. So it's good to get this. It's probably why I'm excited, because I don't get a full, hour and a half of him just going. It's so impressive. A 78-year-old man just going, nonstop, right, Vin? Like he's 28 years old out of college. It's incredible.
The energy. I cannot believe the energy this guy has. He doesn't sleep much. I get that. Some people sleep more than others. But this energy level that he has, and he never stops. And then Friday night, he doesn't just go home and go to bed. He's out golfing with world leaders and businessmen down at Mar-a-Lago all weekend. He's holding meetings, and then he's back in. The American people really need to holistically understand we have got a guy that's probably the most transparent leader we've ever had, most energy of any president I ever remember. I mean, I don't remember anybody working like this guy has.
No.
And he's speaks like we do. Even with Zelensky, it was just like, what? You don't hold any cards. I mean, it's something I would say, in a meeting. I think you guys might say the same thing. Like, what are you talking about? You don't hold any cards. Get out of here. He speaks like we do. He's an amazing guy, and he doesn't get enough credit for those things.
Without a doubt. Guys, Aaron just sent me a nice little list here. Do we have a minute? I can go over some of Melania's guests. Melania's going to bring everyday working people in. I think this is a great segue for that. He's going to bring on the Comparatori family. That's the Helen and Allison and Kaylee, are the widow and the daughters of Corey Comparatori. He's the firefighter who got killed by the gunman.
Buffalo. Yes.
In Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So that's going to be great. And Stephanie Diller, she's the wife of the cop who was right down the block from me. Who got the guy have 23 or 30 felonies and 9 convictions, and he had a knife shivved in his rectum while he shot the cop. So when he gets arrested, he could stab someone and be the leader. I mean, this guy was a lifelong loser. Kills an absolutely beautiful human being in Jonathan Diller, and it's just another heartbreak. So I'm happy to see that. Hallie Ferguson from Spring Hill, Tennessee. She's a former foster child, a senior at Middle Tennessee State University, majoring in elementary education, and a Fostering Future Scholarship recipient, which was launched by the First Ladies Organization, which is called Be Best. So that's pretty cool. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of nice treats here.
Yep. So. Update. The president has arrived at the Capitol. Should be entering in shortly to get ready for the joint session speech for Congress, which is really unbelievable. A lot of folks were mistaking it for a State of the Union, but we got clarification last night. I believe Fran cleared it up for us that you can't have a State of the Union address. Fran, am I correct? You have to be in office for at least 1 year sworn in?
The State of the Union is usually your second year. After you've done one full year in office, you give it the State of the Union. So this technically doesn't count because it's only been a few months.
Right, exactly. Right. But he certainly has...
Session is now coming to order.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
The chair appoints as members of the committee on the part of the House to escort the President of the United States into the chamber the following: the gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Scalise; the gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Emmer; the gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. McClain; the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Hudson; the gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Reschenthaler; the gentleman from Utah, Mr. Moore; The gentlewoman from Indiana, Mrs. Houchin. The gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Hearn. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Jeffries. The gentlewoman from Massachusetts, Ms. Clark. The gentleman from California, Mr. Aguilar. The gentleman from California, Mr. Liu. The gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Neguse. The gentlewoman from Washington, Ms. Delbene. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. Dingle.
The President of the Senate, at the direction of that body, appoints the following senators as members of the committee on the part of the Senate to escort the President of the United States into the House chamber. The Senator from South Dakota, Mr. Thune. The Senator from Wyoming, Mr. Barrasso. The Senator from Arkansas, Mr. Cotton. The Senator from Oklahoma, Mr. Lankford. The Senator from West Virginia, Mrs. Capito. The Senator from South Carolina, Mr. Scott. The Senator from New York, Mr. Schumer. The Senator from Illinois, Mr. Durbin. The Senator from Minnesota, Ms. Klobuchar. The Senator from New Jersey, Mr. Booker. The Senator from Wisconsin, Ms. Baldwin.
The members of the Escort Committee will exit the chamber through the lobby doors.
Okay. All right, cool.
All right.
Wait, can we go on record as saying that Erin is a gem?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Fran's always the smartest guy in the room.
Hands down.
It's a small room.
Well, I didn't say the competition's not so good over here, so I'm not.
Mallory
More like
on Facebook
Speaker,
wrote, is
the
Schumer
Dean of the
pink?
Diplomatic Corps.
Big D in the house. He's stepping on to the set. Oh, man, Big D. Vin, looking great down there in Florida. Great to have you as well in tonight. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, this is great, man. I wouldn't miss this. We cover some great events, and we like the election night. How great was that? Live audience.
Never forget it, Vin.
Yeah,
One of our highlights together. Oof.
yeah. That was a highlight, man. He won, and we got to do it in front of 400 people. I mean, the show was great.
Special night.
I mean, live 400. I mean, 700,000. Between social media and TV.
Yeah, it was incredible.
We had a great audience.
Great audience. Well, we had the best audience in live TV. There's no question about it, hands down. I could prove that in the chat with all our friends.
Yeah, we definitely need to do a barbecue with him.
We do. We do.
What's fun with that?
Big D's backyard. We can fit them all.
We rock a kegger.
Come on, Big D. We'll get everybody in Big D's hot tub.
Are there members of the public who are allowed in for this?
Why, you think I'm joking?
I ain't going in that thing.
You guys get a look at Don Jr.'s new girlfriend? She's out there with him.
Let me guess. She's homely. I'm a bad guesser.
Yeah, you're going way on a limb, aren't you?
Yeah.
Can anyone from the public get into this?
I saw Elon sitting down before.
In this?
Yeah.
I don't. That's a great question. I don't think so. I think you got to. I mean, I think it's a big invite only, no?
Yeah, no, this has got to be invite only. I can't imagine. Oh. Here's the gavel.
Oh, God, I thought it was
Supreme
a shot.
Court.
That's great.
Here he comes.
All right. I saw Schumer outside scalping tape.
Supreme Court coming in.
They're trying to trick you.
He was selling day-old pretzels outside.
I got two. Right in the third row. I got two.
All right, man. We are we're gearing up. So what's
Supreme
the
Court.
over-under on shenanigans from the left peanut gallery?
I say we pick the hair color of the first bozo arrested outside.
Blue.
Yeah, I'm going blue.
Rainbow.
Blue's less than even money.
Pink. You can't. There's no bet here. Paul. There's no bet because we know what's going to happen. I mean, they're going to do stupid stuff, and it's just sort of like par for the course for these children. They call themselves a Democratic Party.
Well, that about sums it up.
But I'll still bet you if you want. You know, if you want to take.
Oh, look, pink is in the lead here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got mostly people saying, oh, we got a purple.
What's up, Big D? How's the game tonight?
Facebook, we got green.
Sorry.
Mike says green. Ripped.
Yeah, green has a shot. Green says special kind of like crazy.
Philip says purple. Penny hackers with me, rainbow.
I like purple. Hot pink. Well, they get a little
Steven
more
says
specific.
purple or pink. Hedging his bets. Another green.
Yeah.
Twilight's got green.
What's up, boys?
Twilight? What's up?
Big D in the house.
Big
How you
D
doing, Big
in
D?
his
I have to
house.
tell you, I was driving in, listening, and I was really enjoying the conversation.
Oh,
Very much so. All four of you. It's great.
Thank you. It was great. Missed you.
It was great.
We only went to break once, so we had to really carry some wind. Right, Vin?
Luann says green hair and a mask. I like that.
Mr. AZ says shaved heads unite.
So is there sound, Aaron, from the floor here, or is there just we're not picking it up, or there's just it's not worth listening right now?
It's just that sound right now.
Oh, it's just that sound of all the criminals coming in? Okay.
Unicorn pink says Rob.
Vinnie Mac, how are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you. Yeah, all good in my bunker here in an undisclosed location in Sarasota, Florida.
Don't worry, Damon. We sent help. He's blinking SOS, and
Yeah.
it looks like the hostage.
Making a hostage tape there in Florida? That's
He's
good.
down in the land of the free. What are you talking about?
No, really, I'm fine. I had
So,
stone crab.
Speaker
I got
Johnson's in place, and J.D. Vance is up there?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so at this point, we're just waiting for the president to make what looks like it's going to be an on-time entrance.
Yeah, I thought he was coming.
You know
earlier.
he's going to be prompt.
Yeah.
He's there. He arrived. I know he's in the
Did
building.
you guys talk about, what do you think here, 80 minutes or so?
Yeah, we did talk about it. It's about right.
But since we all have fake names tonight, I'm Saul Mullins.
Yeah.
That's Slick Nick. This is KGB. KGB came up with, he thought it'd be an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30. So that's 75 to 90, and we all agreed with him.
Good names there. I'm Brock Landers, by the way.
Live from Studio 8H.
Yes, 8H.
I'm Blake Slade. Brock Landers.
Brock Landers, man.
Is that from The Simpsons?
No, that's from Boogie Nights. The movie Boogie Nights.
Oh,
That's a great name. I love that movie.
not as good.
How
as
much
Dirk.
can you bench?
Not as good.
So what's the what are the criminals on the other side doing? They're going to disrupt by throwing eggs or something? Is that what I heard?
They're bringing empty egg cartons.
Empty egg cartons.
And
Empty egg cartons?
Yeah, and they're bringing employees who were fired by Doge.
Oh wow! Okay, great.
And they worked on a dance number.
Boy, that should get them. Is there going to be singing?
Yeah.
Did they bring? You know how the president is going to put people in the box? Did they bring the girl who sings "Try the Biscuits" or whatever that song was?
Oh God.
Taste the biscuits. They should have brought her.
Oh, good gravy. Gravy and biscuits.
Well, I hope the president, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys talked about what you all expect to hear from him. I just hope he just hammers down. It should just be all gas, no brake. Just hammer down on everything. Everything you've done. Huh?
What do you think he'll lead with tonight?
I think he'll lead with something like, I promised you the golden age of America, and go from there and probably talk about what he's done so far, I would suspect.
40 days.
People think he's going to pull some big surprise like announcing a pulling out of NATO. I don't think there's any chance that happens.
No chance. No way.
No way.
But
They got to force them out of. We have to be forced out of NATO. If they decide to go to war without the U.S. and like they want to continue the expansion of, the borders of, and they went something that bold, that would be the only time you'd essentially say we're pulling out, right? I mean, I think it's safe to say that NATO is the European wing of the military-industrial complex of the U.S.
I mean, the only thing I disagreed with listening to you guys coming in was your discussion on Doge and saving money. I mean, I don't know if you looked at what the Republicans are proposing, a clean CR, and I mean, they're not cutting anything. I mean, they're not cutting anything. So here we have applause here. Someone's coming up. A lot of interesting guests there tonight. I saw that the president and the first lady are going to have.
Yep.
It's the first lady coming down. Looks beautiful.
Oh, that's okay. There she is, the first lady.
Yep. I saw Elon.
How's she not how is she not on these covers? It's mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling. She's so graceful.
So true.
She's so elegant. She's just all class and grace.
Beautiful.
She's special, man. She really is a special lady.
Back to Operation Mockingbird, like you said. Keep them out. She's too pretty. Gotta hide her.
Right. Exactly right.
So true, Kevin.
Hello.
So I guess the president's going to have the family of Corey Compatore there.
Yeah, Paul mentioned that.
Here we go.
Speaker, the president's cabinet.
President's cabinet, of course. And I think the newest confirmed member of that is Linda McMahon at Education. So let's see. Looks like who's first? Rubio. I see Scott Bessent.
Yeah, femininity is under attack too. Masculinity has been under attack, but femininity is under attack as well. Beautiful, elegant, graceful, powerful women can't.
Yeah.
That's now resigned for the dude who just added boobs to his chest.
Yep.
I mean,
communists hate beauty. Communists hate beauty.
Yeah.
That's why all those old buildings in Poland and former Soviet Union, those high-rise apartments, they're all ugly. They're meant to demoralize people.
It's a true story.
Yeah, beauty will be punished.
That's an absolute true story. He's not even playing. That's historical.
So, Slick, how's it been taking us in and out of the breaks and hosting here tonight?
That was good time, good fun. Well, I got a great supporting group here. I mean, these guys are great.
You sounded fantastic coming in.
Thank you.
I almost took a right and went home thinking, man, I don't even need to be there.
Yeah, come on, Big D.
Come on, nothing.
It was good stuff. Yeah, we good.
You got that sweatshirt, that black sweatshirt. Am I part of the Zelensky line? A sweatshirt? What do you got over there? I want to see. Is there a big Z on that?
Talking to me?
Yeah, he's talking to you.
Well, this isn't a sweatshirt, nerd. It's a polo shirt. So get your screen fixed down there in Florida. Maybe there's a little too much smog on it.
Damon has a string of polo ponies.
Too many stone crab claws over here, man. I'm a little dizzy.
Yeah, exactly. You just worry. I mean, why don't you get another collar to put on tonight? That would make look good.
I got a third one. I took it off. I didn't want to overwhelm you people.
Thank you. Very good.
All right, it's not Zelensky wear. Okay, we'll take it off. I like that idea though. Zelensky should have his own line. Black sweatpants.
Yeah, but it only comes with Baby Gap.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
Mr. AZ Mikey says, Damon, glad you're here. We need your pessimistic views.
AZ Mikey, I love him over to YouTube.
He's a rip, man.
He is a rip.
I mean, these guys talking like Doge is going to, hello?
I think we should have a contest.
You looked at the CR? Have you looked at the spending? Oh, my God, they're not cutting anything.
We should have a contest. Whoever has the funniest line of the night, or one guest gets to Zoom their way in like once a week. On Pizza Friday when I'm not here.
2025 federal spending, I saw today, $5.5 trillion. You know what the Republicans have keyed up 2026 for? $5.6 trillion.
Yeah.
They're doing nothing to cut it. Whatever Doge is doing is imaginary. They'll come out and talk a big game about waste, fraud, and abuse. But trust me, the spending is not coming down. You're going to have clean CRs. You're going to have debt raises. And they're not going to touch anything having to do with real cuts. They're too afraid to. 5.5 going to 5.6 in 2026.
They got it. It's so infuriating.
So sorry to be pessimistic, but It's also the reality of it. Here's Pam Bondi. What's the update on the? We have an update on the Epstein files today. No? Okay. Next segment.
Oh, yes, there was an update.
Oh, was there?
Well, yes, there was. The FBI dumped like 16 billion pounds of paper on someone's desk, so it's going to take a lifetime to get through. They basically inundated them with a fallen redwood. So that's the next game they played. But
And did you hear the leader of the SDNY, Southern District of New York FBI office?
Oh yeah,
he's gone.
Gone.
Should be.
Step down.
He says, I don't know why they asked me to leave. Well, it could be because you sent an email telling your staff to dig in, or because you didn't come up with the Epstein files.
Yeah, man.
Or you're just a lizard.
All three apply.
Yeah. I'll never forget when that was going down with the Clinton and Weiner, and remember the insurance policy, Uma, what was her name?
Uma Abedin?
Yeah, Uma Abedin. She had the insurance policy against the Clintons. I'll never forget, my buddy was a big-time detective there. He's good, right there and working in the Southern District. They dumped that, and he told me word for word that they said that if you pursue any of these paper here, it's career suicide and worse. That's from a stand-up guy, not a guy who wanted attention. And I was just thinking to myself, why am I not even remotely shocked by this?
That's sad.
It is what it. That's the Southern District.
It's
a monster.
Has RFK banned mRNA vaccines yet? Do we know?
I don't believe so. I follow everything he does. He's
doing a good job with the measles. He's pushing certain people to get vaccines. He's pushing certain vitamin supplement therapies and other things. I mean, he's doing what he said he was going to do, which was not ban vaccines, but educate and use them where they're needed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the fact that he think he's really put some pressure on that red dye, which one? Red dye 15 was it? That's been eliminated from food. That's been linked to Alzheimer's. And, so that
was huge. Yeah. That was huge. That was a huge first thing that the very first thing he did, one of the first things was get rid of that dye. I was so happy to see that.
It's so true.
Terrible.
I started listening to the real Anthony Fauci, his book, and I've just been real busy, and I want to get through it. I really need to get through it. But there's been so many fascinating podcasts lately. But I'm about 100 pages into it, and it's just riddled with evidence. Everything that he's been involved with, lifelong criminal.
Exactly. I was going to say.
I mean, what his involvement with MERS, his involvement with AIDS, the gain of function, what happened in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, the cover-up to move everything that was made. The evidence is overwhelming that, Vin, I'm sure you follow this, but the evidence was really overwhelming that Chapel Hill, North Carolina, the gain of function research that created this virus was made there, and everything was shuffled off to Wuhan. And let's blame it on a wombat. Some wombat, made out with a turtle, and now we got a virus that's killing the world. Okay, I'm a moron. Okay, I'm gonna believe you. Now they have
is that what McConnell visited?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great book. I got that when it first came out, and I couldn't believe what I was reading. Yeah. I mean, it's almost, especially back then. It came out almost 3 years ago, and it was almost shocking, to read this stuff. The AIDS stuff blew my mind, and the corruption around. That alone.
Yeah.
Are the Democrat women wearing pink tonight or something? Is that one of their?
Yes.
Empty egg cartons and then wear pink?
Yes, to show their support for male athletes beating the potato salad out of young girls.
I was going to say they didn't show much support in that vote yesterday to keep men out of women's sports. Why are they wearing pink tonight to be all ladylike? What's exactly?
This is the color your face is going to be when a man power drills a volleyball in your
right.
That's exactly
your
right.
chops.
What a joke!
It's just a game.
Pink.
Oh my God.
We're going to wear pink.
Boy, they sure do know how to rally the troops.
No, they stick together.
Wearing orange and stripes is what you should be wearing.
That'll come.
It's just astounding.
So we should get this. So I guess the Supreme Court next. I mean, I know they're not calling this a State of the Union, but
No, the Supreme Court already entered.
oh, Supreme Court already
They're sitting
entered.
up in the front.
Okay.
They decided to wear black gowns, Damon, just so you know, the Supreme Court.
Yes, well, because they're all smarter than everybody. Well, really, it's the judges below them that we really need to be worried about.
Mike Kimberly called them the Pepto-Bismol clan.
That's a good one. I can't stomach them as it is.
I'll set them up for you all day, man. I'd love it. All right, so just seriously, if Lena Luna does accept your offer, can you just put a good word in with Pam Bondi with me?
Yeah, I can handle that.
Thanks.
Here we go.
If she's into chubby married dudes, I'm perfect.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
So we're gonna leave the president, obviously, the speech on. We're gonna stay up on with the president, leave the mics open. We obviously will not talk over him, but if we have a moment to talk about something he says that we like or don't like or whatever, we'll.
Maybe we should all just do a like meter.
Yeah.
There he is. Look at him, takes the time.
I think we are going to see a very. I hope we see. And I guess aggressive. I don't know if aggressive is the right way to describe it, but I hope we see an all gas, no pedal.
I still would like to see the fun, like riffing, but not too much of it. You know, what he does at his rallies. I don't want him to go on too many of those sidebar tangents, even though they are a rip.
I think he's going to be. These moments are made for him. He has delivered in these moments like very few since Ronald Reagan have delivered. His speech in South Dakota, whenever it was 2019 or 18, when he went there for the 4th of July, was one of the great speeches I've ever heard. And he's given some great State of the Unions. And I suspect tonight I have high expectations for this one being right up there with the strong America first. I'm not taking any BS. We're here because people have failed you before.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yep.
You may not like everything. You may not agree with everything, but I'm here for you. And it's going to be pedal to the metal. And every day I'm going to wake up, and what's going to be the first on my mind and last on my mind is the American people in everything I do. And I suspect that message will be strong.
He's having a good hair day. That's a good start. Thanks, Vin.
Oh, man.
Chip Roy got a welcome. That was good. I know those guys butt heads, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
They're hot and cold, those two, you know?
I don't think they're as hot as cold as you even think in the press. I think they're pretty hot all the time. I
do too.
I think that's all blown up. It's like his relationship with DeSantis. If you make out the media, you would think that their relationship is hot, cold, and mostly cold. And there's pictures of Trump playing with his wife playing golf yesterday as a team.
Did you play golf today?
Trump teamed with Casey DeSantis to play Ron and whoever his teammate was.
Oh man,
and the idea that somehow that there's still some kind of friction there, I think, is laughable.
Look at the president. He takes the time to say hello to people. He's unreal.
He is, man. He knows how to work around it. It's sincere.
It is.
He does these things that, like, you and I would do. Like I said, like, we'd want to say hi to our friends. This is how he is.
And his fantastic ability. I'm sorry, but his fantastic ability to remember everybody's name. A friend of mine this guy Drew Winslow, who is a construction guy, did big buildings, hates Trump. Trump admits he has TDS, but he's on the reasonable side, and he's warming up a little bit. But he said the reason he doesn't really truly have TDS is because Trump remembered everybody's name on the job site at a building they were doing in the 90s, and he was so good to everybody everywhere, and he said it's hard for me to truly hate him. But you know, he grew up a communist in Canada.
All right, let's listen in.
Most powerful room in the world.
But when it's over, Speaker Johnson pulls Pelosi in the house.
Yeah, it'll be nice to raise the specter of this house again now after Pelosi took it to the dumps.
Yeah.
Ripping up the speech and all this other garbage.
Look at the left sitting there like, you know.
I mean, just sitting there is obnoxious. You know, there's no acknowledgement. Just clap. They don't have to stand. The President of the United States. I mean,
Exactly. Exactly, Vin.
Then Chuck Schumer won't give him money for the re-elections.
He's soaking it all in.
Watch him move his dais and just face the red team.
His hair looks better this term than last term.
He actually is aging great. He really is.
Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States.
Let's see if they stand for her.
That's nice.
Beautiful.
She's always dressed perfect.
Oh, right out of Vogue magazine.
Who won't have her in?
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
That almost sounds like F.
6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes. We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Here's number 1.
Oh, did he not win the popular vote? What are they yelling about? They don't like basic math.
And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever. Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded.
Mr. President.
A 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
Who is that goofball?
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
He wants to be carried out.
Yeah, there you go. Take him out.
Carry him out.
Take that fool out, and every other one of them.
What a clown.
He clowned himself. Jackass.
He's trying to impeach.
Go out and put some articles of impeachment together out in the hallway there, Al.
Trying to make a name for himself.
Was there an opening with the squad of morons?
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat.
Get him out.
Take him out.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order.
Yeah, Johnson came prepared not to play around.
Good.
He damn well knows he better not let this go, even more than this 30 seconds.
But he stepped in.
Hey, we got all night. Look at this guy.
Bye-bye.
Good job, Al. Oh, they're going to sing him out. Good.
Nah.
Now, you know somebody said, well, who's the biggest loser we could put up that no one really cares about to take one for the team? They figured, oh, it's Al Green. Now they'll have...
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House.
Was Maxine Waters busy?
President, you continue.
Stein.
Thank you.
Yeah, she'll be next.
She's on deck.
Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it. In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many. And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever. They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
Well done.
Yep. We said on the show earlier.
That's what you said.
So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again. Every day, my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid. I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization. And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council. We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction. To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term. And in that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job. And we have ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good.
That wasn't on the speech, Sarge.
I love this guy. That's so good.
And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back. And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America. I renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And likewise, I renamed, for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. We love Alaska. We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer. We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important. You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Makes sense.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
Just keep knocking down all the basic stuff that 80% of the country agrees with, and then pan to the Democrats with the camera and show them not being disgusted. It's brilliant. It's simple,
3 years ago,
but brilliant.
Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career.
Unbelievable.
It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
How crazy this world is that needs to be put. If someone would have told us in the 80s or 90s that this had to be done today, you'd say, no way.
You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it.
It's so far from reality. This poor kid.
Terrible. We had her moment. Good for her.
And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women. and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
Pan to the Democrats, sitting there.
Yeah, I think
it's just great. Just keep doing it.
They didn't even stand for that poor young lady.
No, they did not. No, they did not. They didn't even budge for her.
Disgraceful. Disgraceful.
Totally.
What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again. Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control. The egg price is out of control, and we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration.
There you go.
Do a good job. A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill. My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA. To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, man. Look at them.
And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency.
Oh,
here we go.
Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps.
He looks over there.
Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
He's the master
It's great.
troll.
I mean, it's great. They just look so insane.
Animals.
It's literally an insane party. They're insane.
Thank you,
lunatic
Elon.
left.
He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that.
That's great.
Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real. $32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique.
Sounds
$20
like
million
truth or fake.
for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring.
That's a one.
$1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City.
That can't be. One.
He's a real estate developer. He's done very
One
well.
is true. Two is
$250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia.
That's got to be a two.
$42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda.
Two.
$14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia.
Two.
$47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. You know what we're doing. Should use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education. The most ever paid.
Unbelievable.
Nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration,
Where's the
all of
yodelers
these
one?
scams. And they're
coming.
far
But that
worse,
was the
but I
two.
didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
It's great he's calling out all the numbers, all the things to the waste. If Americans are watching this on the left, you can't help but be horrified by these things.
This speech is the left's worst nightmare so far. Yep.
The worst.
And we've taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taking back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139.
Wow.
3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them. And we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does. And it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old.
Wow.
We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
Balance and nature.
He's great.
That's a mic drop right there.
He has got comedic timing, man.
Oh, yeah.
He is
one of the best.
So good, man.
He's got a future.
He's such a New York
including
B-buster.
To finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229. One person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360 years of age. More than 100 years. More than 100 years older than our country.
Wow.
Last name
But
Biden.
we're going to find out where that money's going. And it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
A really good strategy. Micro detail.
And today, interest rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
Wow. Big comment.
That's all well and good, but now with this Congress, you're not going to be tough.
Yeah, but if no one's even put the thought out, it's so unattainable, don't even talk about it. Oh, here it is.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money. Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again.
Another one standing.
And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over. And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there. They're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that. But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax.
The other group's not getting their cardio in at all.
Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
Look at the left. But how can you make people poor forever? If you put that through, we want you on the dole so we can control you.
And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, smart.
And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world. And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country, first term. We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea, but that's what happens. This is happening by friend and foe. This system is not fair to the United States and never was, and so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before.
Yeah, baby.
I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer. Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA.
I say the stock market booms tomorrow.
I agree.
And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people, and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to. Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer. Who will now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies, they're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. It's all going to happen. And I have also imposed a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama, Jeff Denard. Has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raise 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
It's a sacrifice.
Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us. Very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much. And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States.
Well done. Oh, well done.
Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John. Thank you all very much. Thank you. And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is a terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast. And I want to thank Tom Homan and Christy. I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to. Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren. Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley. Thank you very much. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you. The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
He really is a body bag in the Democratic Party here. It's fantastic.
Awful.
Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America. But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are two illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yes. Perfect so far.
Wow.
Democrats clapping.
Thought I saw one. She must have amnesia.
Wow. I mean, so sad,
Thank
so
you very
sad.
much. All three savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations. They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy.
They appreciate it. They really do.
In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took, and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much. Thank you, Roberto. And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war on America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing. Five nights ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever. But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it. And as we reclaim our sovereignty, we must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns. In recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bondi, good luck. So important. Going to do a great job. Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash.
End of the show.
They've already started very strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very proud of them. We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice.
What number bottle of wine do you think Kamala's on right now? About 8?
1 year ago this month,
I don't think she could drink that much
31-year-old
'cause
New
she
York
smokes a bag of
police
weed with
officer
it.
Jonathan Diller, unbelievably
our
wonderful
boy.
person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and 1-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much.
Senseless.
This was 2 blocks from
Too close.
Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law.
That's a great law.
I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer. But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Wow.
He's like, can I arrest people?
Thank you, DJ.
Go over to the
He
left
locks
now.
up Schumer.
DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr.
He's going to do good stuff.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been
I swear I
killed.
was just thinking
How
that.
quickly they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000. And now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong. 1 in 36. Think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby? Good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you. Go get him. Thank you. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January Littlejohn and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's unbelievable something like that could happen.
Thank you.
Yep.
Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology. I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth. And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie. And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
Wow.
I haven't heard that in a long time.
Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better? Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations. And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference.
USA.
And we need it.
Oh, yes, we do.
And you know, it was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country, and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job. Thank you.
Why aren't the warmongering left standing up for this?
We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a six-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
This is the president calling.
It's turned into a game show now.
Yeah. It's...
Come on down. Amazing. The guy's amazing. These are such emotional points. They're so perfect, and they're emotional, and a great example of leadership.
Yep.
The next time Trump pumps your tires, hit the like button.
Amazing.
Thank you. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
Has there ever been a State of the Union or a joint
And
address
Ronald
like
Reagan
this that the Democrats
wanted
didn't
to
stand
do it
for
long ago,
one
but the technology
single
just
thing?
wasn't there, not even close. But
question. I
now
don't
we have
think
the
so.
technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places, they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding. And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
By the way, let's make a note. Not one single mention of Ukraine so far. Not even the word.
Just today, a large American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals.
Nicaraguan
The
canal.
Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
Just like that. Taking it back.
Yep. Take out.
And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it. He got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes. And I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing a great job.
I'm watching you, buddy.
Great job. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
Oh, boy.
We will keep you safe.
Oh, that's the best
We will
soundbite.
make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before. It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice.
Wow. They won't even stand for that. It's just embarrassing.
Disgusting.
For them, it's embarrassing. Give a hoot.
And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown that when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords. And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
He's a beast. Raytheon stock is going down.
2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans. But I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine, by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Stop killing kids.
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Oh, look, the gravy train is ending for the left.
Look at that.
It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
I had a feeling he might close with Ukraine. There they are. Yep.
Can you imagine that? Imagine your kid being trapped there. Just put yourself in that family.
Unimaginable.
Can't.
Just try to immerse yourself into the horror.
You can't.
And watching your government not
deliberately sabotage him.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage.
Wow.
And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their two beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
Tough situation, you know. They went to his rally to support this guy, and they lost their father.
Terrible.
To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his three beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on.
Man.
Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that. Thank you.
That's another talking point that'll trigger MSNBC and their godless nature.
They're going bananas preparing for their show.
He has no, you know what's to give. This is a totally different guy from the first time around.
From the Patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon. Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country.
Amen.
Because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age, these workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities, these warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond. And through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve.
What an absolute tour de force this has been tonight.
He did what you said, David. I mean, he just
perfect way of putting it.
Yep.
Pedal to the metal.
Yep.
Pulled no punches.
He's body bagging the Democratic Party tonight.
They deserve it.
They do. Deserve it and more.
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Wow. Almost 2 hours.
Very
that
long.
Was well orchestrated.
If you're looking for any negative, I mean, it did start late. I mean, it was very long. A lot of the Democrats left. But, I mean, just, again, just an absolute tour de force from the president. As I said, this is where the moments he has shined in the past. It does not surprise me. With Stephen Miller and the gang behind a lot of this, I'm sure. I mean, it's just all Americana on 10 on steroids. Pedal to the metal. No apologies. America first. The American people. The American spirit. He absolutely body bagged the Democrats in the first 3 quarters of this speech, making them just have to sit there. I mean, you think about, I mean, you know, there are legitimate arguments to be made on issues of the day. Obviously, we know we're kind of a polarized society, but this is a party that finds itself in a place that they can't even, they stake out these positions where they're incapable of any kind of legitimate debate. They just want to turn into street fighters, thugs. That's all they know how to do. They do not know how to debate. They do not know how to scope out, because the positions that they scope out are popular with about 0.5% of the American people. And they just choose that this is the hill they're going to die on. And he exposed that tonight over and over in really a complex way, but in very simplistic way, just a very simplistic way. Let me lay out what I've done here in 43 days, which is unheard of. Let me tell you what I found, which is unheard of. I mean, it was just, in a way, it was so simple, yet it was so brilliant. Vin?
It was well produced. You know, he gave details that are meaningful that everybody can understand, you know. All those details of the wasted monies, all the details of the people that were there. But, you know, the Democrats have made a decision. They've dug themselves into a hole they can't get out of. They've doubled down and tripled down on these ridiculous policies that you noted that only, 0.5% of the country support. But they've dug a hole so deep into those policies, like they can't get out. I don't think they want to get out, but even if they wanted to get out, they can't get out, you know? And he just slammed them. This was the strongest speech, I think, as he's frankly ever made in the years he's been president, at least, the past 4, and then, this previous 4, and then this.
I mean,
very impressive.
I mean, to think of a time where the Democrat Party looks weaker coming off not only the election, but coming off these first 43 days and what they look like. They can't get their footing on anything. They're yelling and screaming. I saw you guys play that video of they're making videos based off of the same script, going to all of them to try to get videos out, to try to get some footing on something, to try to be some kind of opposition. And tonight they come in here. They look like fools. He calls them out. He points out the best of America. He calls them out on things that most Americans support, and the camera pans to them, and they're sitting there with a puss on their face, or they're walking out, or they're holding stupid signs that nobody cares about. I mean, it's just, I don't know how you look weaker as a party than they look right now.
And to your point, the way they made themselves look even weaker was their lowbrow, low-class, lack of applause for even moments of humanity.
Yeah, exactly.
You can be that cold and that callous when it comes to protecting Officer Diller. If you can be that cold and callous to Lake and Riley or the other victims of serious crimes, it means there's no longer your humanity is dead within you. Some things are not bipartisan. There's times where more than one thing can be true at a time. So when the Democrats can't even remotely show any humility, they leave themselves looking even more despicable than we already thought they could be.
Yeah, and I think the humanity part of that is a great point, because certainly you sit there and think, well, geez, let's think about the things they're not cheering for. Lower taxes. Oh, not cheering for that. Bringing industry back to America to create jobs for Americans and make it better for America. Oh, they're not cheering for that. Getting rid of stopping illegal immigrants, getting them out of the country. Oh, they're not clapping for that. Big companies coming back, investing in the country, investing in the citizens, investing in these areas. Oh, they're not clapping for that. Cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. Oh, they're not clapping for that. Just the best of America, the humanity part. Oh, they're not clapping for that. The young kid up there, not clapping for that. The girl who lost her whole sporting, basically her whole sporting career because some guy who thought he was going to be a girl that day smashed the volleyball on her head, gave him her brain. Nope, they're not stopping. They're not clapping for that. They're staking out that this is the hill we're going to die on. All these positions that they've got about 8% of the country supporting them.
Right. Every single 80-20 issue, they're all in on. And 90-10 issues. You can't find the real person in the real world, other than libs of TikTok, who think that a dude should be going against their daughter in an ice hockey game, a volleyball game, a basketball game.
It's incredulous.
It's utter insanity. A 16-year-old boy will kill a 15-year-old girl on the court with just one flying elbow. Kill. This is
dangerous.
They've completely lost their mind.
It's despicable. And one of the things that just takes it to another level that really, burns me up is the left is everything that you guys have just noted, right? And probably more. But then you have their partners in media who do not call them out on this stuff, who tomorrow are going to be, trashing Trump to no end on these policies over and over and over. And it's sort of like they just want to continue to brainwash a part of our country to think that, the 0.5% that they're appealing to is everybody. And it's not. In some way, shape, or form, you could tend with the left. But if the media were not in the bag with them, they could never do this stuff and be this freaky, hardcore progressive left that they are. So they enable that. That has to be fixed somehow.
Yeah, well, you see the New York Slimes, WAPO, Huffington Post, they're all CIA intelligence community mouthpieces, and USAID has done nothing short of carry the water for an entire movement of lunacy. So the gravy train is ending, and they're going to have nothing to stand on.
Well, there was no Jamal Bowman to pull the fire alarm for them. I'm sure they were wishing there was at some point. Al Green got booted. Liz Warren's got to be so upset that she's probably blown smokestacks out her teepee or whatever. So it was not a good rebranding night. If your rebranding is basically Al Green, you got Jasmine Crockett out there as your front piece, big talking head. It's not going great for you. So, Slick, any final thoughts from you?
Truly a great moment. One of my most enjoyable evenings on 6B in the 5 years I've had the pleasure of joining you on the network, Big D. Just an incredible evening. I think he checked every box that we talked about pre-speech earlier tonight on the show, which was just absolutely incredible. Has anybody checked on Al Green in the green room? I wonder if he's still there.
He's working on new articles of impeachment. I'm sure he brings them about every week. So
he has to be. But the president was just
fantastic job hosting.
Stunning.
Brother.
Thank you.
Yes, great job, Slick.
Thank you. It was an honor.
Vinnie Mac, thanks for joining us. Thanks for sticking around. It was great. I want to thank everybody in the chat as well. We were going to stick around for the Democratic response, but I don't want everybody puking before they go to bed.
I mean, we could have a
It's so predictable what it's going to be, and they chose an ex-CIA agent, which I guess, it's interesting.
Stands to reason.
That stands to reason,
So what do you think the biggest bullet points tomorrow, before we let the audience go, what do you think of the things the left will attack the most? His belief in God, number one. His hate of immigrants, number two. His lack of support for Zelensky and the murderous regime that he wants to stop. I mean, where do you think is going to be the number one rally point for the Mockingbird media?
Probably the dictate that they'll just make him sound like he's a dictator stuff. I think
the Greenland thing, maybe?
Taking Greenland, definitely.
Get him no matter
dictator, just everything, the dictator stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
That he's, I think overall.
There's not a lot of places to go. However, they'll go somewhere, right? That's what you're kind of saying. Like tomorrow, they're going to go somewhere, and I think
I'm
that's
sure they're
exactly
doing it right now. They're not going to wait till tomorrow. I'm sure they're doing it right now on all of those stations. So
yeah, the dictator thing, though, is the dictator, the Hitler. Those things are when they have nothing else to say. Yep. They say, and you know what? He knocked it out of the park here. So I think they're just going to go back to that bad stuff: dictator, Hitler, World War, all that.
Yeah. All right. I want to thank Aaron. Thank Fran for prepping everything. I want to thank the audience for joining us. Another good, I guess can't call it State of the Union, but it sure seemed like it to me. State of the Union seems pretty good after listening to that speech.
Yep.
Great job, everybody. Thanks, everybody in the audience, for sticking with us. We'll see you tomorrow night. We'll review the Democrat response tonight. We'll have our reviews tomorrow. We'll see you 8 o'clock tomorrow night right here live from Studio 6B. Thanks, everybody.